I was in my car driving across town to go watch the film for the first time. And honestly, that's what attracted me to it. I barely had time to even think about what the movie was about or what the themes were. I just sat down in a theater at Amazon's offices and watched this really sweet, delightful, and honestly pretty compelling in terms of a murder mystery story film unspool before my eyes. And I knew, before it was even a quarter of the way into the movie, that this was a film that not only was I really interested in being a part of, but also was right up my alley. I began this score by thinking about which characters needed to have signature sounds or signature melodies, themes that represent the characters. For example, I have a theme for George, the shepherd, and I have a theme for Lily, the sheep that we spend the most time with. And I have a theme for the flock, which also serves as a kind of a family theme. These are short or longer melodies that I can reuse as the score progresses. And what's great about working this way is we have these signposts that we can use to help the audience make associations between the music and the story that they're seeing on the screen. And this can help build emotional connections to the characters as well. And if I do my job right, a theme for a character can in one scene be played very joyously and in the very next scene be played sadly. And this creates a tapestry that hangs together as a whole, as well as being able to support each scene or each moment in each scene as individual moments more fully. We've been here all week working with this orchestra to record music that I've spent the last couple of months crafting and preparing, and then taking that music and putting the notes on the page that you see on the music stands behind me so that the musicians can sit down and actually play the music that we've been putting together. And over there off camera is a control room where the recording engineer and all of us work to actually, as they play the music, we record it. I get to do my work mixing it, and then it gets delivered to the final movie where it gets mixed in with the dialogue and the sound effects, and it creates the whole soundtrack for the film. We wanted to create a score that was heartfelt and emotional and, mainly speaking, somewhat traditional. We have big melodies, it's played by a big string section, and you get that sort of classic film score sound, but we didn't want it to only be that. We also wanted to have some elements that were unique, that might be very special for this score that you maybe wouldn't have heard in another film. So there's a recurring combination of instruments that, after a little bit of experimentation, we came up with, which specifically is a piano, but with my hand over the strings of the piano. So instead of going bong, it goes thunk. And I combine that with a solo viola usually, although sometimes when it gets a little bit higher in range, it'll be violin, or lower, it'll be cello. But it's basically a viola, and let's call it a thunk piano combination that gives it a very unique character. It's a little quirky, and it also is, to me anyway, a little bit folky. It's a little bit homemade, and I think that really supports the idea that we have a bunch of animals on a farm. It's very grounded. It's very of the earth, and I think having that sort of like almost broken instrument being played on a porch feel supports that very well. The very end of the film is a particular challenge because there's so much we want to cover in a relatively short amount of time. And it was challenging to find a way to make sure that we honor all the different moments that we're showing in the story, all the different characters and their journeys, and finding that balance between honoring and signifying each of those moments in a 2 or 3 minute scene that ends the movie, and just playing a piece of music that embodies those feelings of family, love, and acceptance that we've been talking about. But ultimately, that piece too is a great example of my favorite type of music to write, which is music that has beauty, heart, love, and that can really touch people on a deep emotional level.